At the International Film Festival of Rotterdam, I was one of the 20 to 30 lucky few to attend a private masterclass by Howard Shore, the composer for, amongst others, the music of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Being a die-hard fan of this franchise, I was absolutely thrilled to go and learn a thing or two of the maestro of Middle-earth himself. And in this video I want to share the 3 main things that I took from this masterclass and how we as film composer could learn from this and apply this to our own practice. The first thing I took from the masterclass was to make the music centralized to your thinking. And this is not that you as a composer should put your music ahead of the picture. Don't immediately go to the screen, but spend some time writing musical material based on the idea of the story and the story itself. And that also involves reading all the source material you can find, looking at all the source material you can find, so you really know the subject matter of the story. Write some musical material based on that, and when you have a substantial amount, then you start applying it to the picture. When you work on the music from the get-go, it can become really a part of yourself when you start applying it to the film. A little example of this idea you can really see when we talk about the book The Music of the Lord of the Rings films, written by Doug Adams. And while Howard wrote the music in about 4 odd years, Doug Adams actually spent 9 years on the making of this book. When I asked him about this, he responded that because he had started the music so early and because he had internalized it so well, that's the reason why these links became visible through the film. Because he knew the musical material so well. By trusting your instinct this way, the music is so well internalized with you, it's so much a part of you that it starts flowing with the picture. The second takeaway from the masterclass was to keep the pencil moving. While perfection is both a blessing and a curse, it is good to strive for something that is really good. However, when we try to make the perfect thing, that's something that can really hold us back now and then. Howard's advice in this matter was to simply keep the pencil flowing. By writing every day and letting our minds expand musically, we can later go back and extract the parts that we want to develop further for the film. So you write a big chunk of music, just keep going. Don't worry about if it's good or not, just keep going. Next up, you analyze this and see what are the core materials that I have written. Then you take this core and start developing it and start moving it around the picture. Writing every day is a great way to keep the pencil flowing, to keep writing music, but also to train yourself to recognize what are the key elements that you can develop further. The third and final one is about making relationships in the industry. While as composer we are often worried about the relationships we have with directors or producers because they could get us jobs potentially, Howard stressed that it's very important to have good relationships with everyone of the film crew. So you take the editors and the cinematographer, the sound designer. You are all filmmakers and you are all storytellers. So that's your common ground. And also when we were talking about relationships you do have with directors, it is to really get to know them and get to know at what level of musicality they are at. It can be very hard to talk to a director about music when you don't know what his or her level of musicality is. So you have to discover that. What kind of music do you listen to? What music do you like? And from that you can start working on the film together. So that's 3 of the main things I took from the masterclass and how film composers could benefit from this. Let me know how you think of these in the comments and subscribe if you want to see more film music related content. And as always, from my space to yours, have a great day.